Alright guys, for this example on how to dye lacrosse head, I just picked up an STX Bionic from my local store here, and we're going to dye an American theme basically, and from about here up, I'm going to dye dark blue, and I might throw in some white stars later on, but that will be the last step we do, and for the bottom it's going to be red and white stripes. And to get the red and white stripes, we're just going to put like regular electrical tape, and we're just going to put it around where we want the white stripes to be, and we're going to sit it in red dye. And before we get started, make sure that you take the ball stop off if your head has one, and all the stringing and stuff of course comes off. And so I'm going to start by taping where I want the white stripes to be, and then we'll pick. Alright, so I just got done taping on with electrical tape where I want the white stripes to show up, and now it's time to prepare the dye. And if you're just doing a solid color, the whole thing the same color, like I said before, you're just going to ignore the tape. You're not taping anything. You're just going to leave the head as it is. And I'd use something like a turkey cooker thing like this, and you just put the water in here and the dye and just sit it in there like that and let it soak for 15 minutes and do it twice. But since we don't want all of it to soak, we're not going to use this, and I'm just going to use a bucket thing like this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put it in here, and I'm going to fill up with water up to the very top of where I want dyed. That way so it doesn't dye the rest of it, it just goes up to where I want. So I'm going to fill the water up to there, and then I'm going to pour the water into just a boiling pan like this, and then I'm going to sit it on the stove until it boils. Alright, now I'm going to add, the water's done boiling, now I'm going to dump it into the bucket that I'm going to be dyeing the head in. Remember to be careful while you're doing this. Alright. And now you're just gonna add the head. Also bring something like just anything like a pole or a stick or anything that you can put through the side of the stick just to like pull it out. Or if you want, you can even just stick it through like that. And when you put it in, do that. But just to let you know that you're gonna need like a stick or something like that. And now that we put the boiling water in, we're going to add the grit dye. I'm going to use the red grit dye. And you're just going to pour the whole thing in there. And also you need something to stir it around with, whether it's the same thing you're using, or you're just going to need something to stir around. It doesn't matter if you have like an old stick or a spatula or something, anything will work, but it will get stained. So I'm just stirring it in now. Alright, now that it's stirred in, like I said, you can either put it through like this, then just drape the stick in like that, or you can just leave the stick in there and then come get it whenever it's done. I am just going to put it through and drape it since the water level is basically the same. And then we're going to leave it here for about 15 minutes or so, and you can pull it out and check the color of it every so often. But I'm going to leave it in for about 15 minutes and then come back and check on it. Alright guys, so it's been about 10 minutes and it's already to about the kind of red color that I want. And notice I went a little bit over that black spot I wanted to stop at, but that's alright because when we dye the top blue, since it's a darker color, it'll just go over that nicely. So now that I'm done with this the first time, I'm going to take it over to the sink here. I'll try and give you guys a better look while I'm doing this. I'm going to take this over to the sink here, like right in here. I'm just going to take the head and I'm just going to wash it down. Just kind of spray off the excess stuff and wash it down. Alright. Now that that's done, I'm going to dry it off, except we're not done doing the red. After you dry it off, you're going to wait and let it dry. And then after it dries, we're going to put it back in there and do it again so it coats it again. But notice how, see how I went over the black line a little bit on the top here? But whenever we dye blue, it'll go right over there. So I'm going to wait till this dries and then we're going to put it in again. Alright, now it's dry again and we're just going to repeat those same steps. Even if you're just doing one solid color, you're going to, after you dry it off, you're going to put it in again for about the same amount of time. This way, if it gets hit and it chips off, it's still going to be red there because it's going to have more than just that one initial thing. So we're going to put it back in for just about the same amount of time, and then we'll come pull it out and dry it out again. Alright, I'm waiting for the head to dry, and while we're waiting, we're gonna boil the water for the top of the head, which we're gonna dye blue. And we're not nearly gonna need as much water since we only need to fit the scoop part of the head into the water. And once we boil the water, we're gonna pour it back into the bucket or container, and just as we did for the first time, except we're going to add the blue dye, or whatever dye color you want to use, and we're going to add that and stir it. We're going to dip it in twice, just like we did for the bottom part. And I do recommend using gloves like these, because there's already spots all over them, just to protect your hands from getting dyed. And then we'll check back. Right, well, I just got done dyeing the top with what was supposed to be navy blue, but it turned a little bit purplish, but it still looks pretty cool. Right there's the finished product right here, and it turned out pretty good. I decided not to do the stars. I was going to do the stars going across here, but it didn't look right with all the purple on it. And so I'll be posting a video soon on how to dye it with a hot glue gun, which will look pretty sweet. But yeah, this is the finished product from them. Hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching.